right, we're live. Happy Friday, November 22nd. And the
Guess who's
year is
back?
almost
Back,
over.
back, back again.
Guess who's back?
Shady's
Guess
back.
who's back? Guess
Back.
who's back?
Celebrate.
All right, everybody, happy Friday. Welcome back to the IT hour. And my child is going to kill me and they'll never see this, but it is my oldest's birthday today and it is my youngest birthday tomorrow. So, of course, I'm going to
Well, it's
say
technically your
happy birthday.
birthday too, because it's the day that you gave birth.
Sorta, kinda, yeah. Um, so yeah, it makes me feel older than I would like to. My oldest is 17 and my youngest is gonna be 14 tomorrow, so I almost legitimately have an adult in my household. Whew, yeah, my goodness. And, fun times. And we're also really close to the end of the year, like just a little over a month, and 2024 is going to be in our rearview mirror. So the Ross is saying, let it all out. And Stuart is saying, teens, yes, that is exactly
I'm
how.
still afraid of teenagers. I'm legitimately afraid of teenagers. That they can be so mean, and I just really want them to like me.
They don't like anybody. So Jamie says, the teen years condolences. Thank you, Jamie. Yes, it is. It can be very rough. It's surprising how easy it is for them to hurt your feelings. And I only have one feeling, and they managed to hurt it. So,
Oh no. Well, you can have one of my feelings. I have way too many.
yeah, sometimes I have way
I
too
can.
many too, and other days I only have one, and it managed to get it manages to get trampled on. So, yeah, Rob's saying that Rob has 20 minutes and then a conference call. So rapid fire snark today. You're well on your way, Rob. We've got lots of snark already in the comments, which, hey, typical Friday, typical IT hour. We're already well on our way to having our fun. Well, we have Isaac and Urvashi with us today to talk about device list enhancements. And since Isaac only has a few minutes with us, we are going to jump right in and then we will circle back to community and the other product stuff we have. So we are going to get right to it. And I'm going to hand it over to y'all, and then we'll circle back to having some fun chit chat and everything. So we're going to get right down to business and then come back to the fun. Yes, Ross, jump right in. We love to do those puns all the time. And
Good.
it happens naturally at this point.
Good thing that Isaac's calendar aligns with yours, Rob. So 20 minutes rapid fire. Let's go. Isaac, do you want me to start sharing the screen, or do you want to get started and then I'll share it when we're ready to demo?
I think you can pull up the screen and I'll just talk through some of the pieces that we're dealing with here.
Okay.
So if you guys were present about 2 months ago, we presented part of the device list already. So I'm going to repeat some of the problem statements and kind of key points we're looking at solving here. So looking at like the old list, there's so much data that you all have in your devices infrastructure today. And so we really want to make sure that all of that data is easily accessible, searchable, filterable, and you can really quickly read the list. So we put forward some updates already in EA, and now we're showing phase 2 today. So phase 2 looks at our pieces with filters and how to save those filters so you can easily and efficiently reapply them as you come back to this screen day in and day out. So we know we have so much data, and previously there was only about 4 or 5 filters on this device view. So we've introduced a lot more filters, and Urvashi will show us that here in a moment. And then with those filters, we know that those views that you create, you want to save those views. You want to look at this stuff again. So we're going to go through and show you guys how to apply some filters and then save that view and share it with a different admin.
And quickly before that, for those of you who haven't met Isaac before, he is our UX designer and the brains behind this wonderfully compact new user experience. So that's just the context. And yes, keep the questions coming in, y'all. We will get to them. All right, Isaac, what do you want me to hit? advanced
think what
filters?
you can, yeah, let's look at some columns here. So by default, you'll have a certain set of columns that we chose for everyone. But then you can go in and add many more columns and rearrange the order of them. So previously, you could only have 8 columns. Now you can go through and adjust with this view how many columns that you can see at once. And you can create a fixed set of columns. So by default, status and device name are always going to be fixed. But if you would like another column in that area, you can drag it up to that section. And what fixed means is it's basically solving for a problem that when you have so many columns on a view, you could only view this if you're on a massive screen, right? So this accounts for any type of screen size now. So something like status and device name is always going to be present on the left side of the screen while you scroll right to left.
Please don't hold back your applause. All right. What do you want to hit next, Isaac? Filters?
Yeah, you can go in and add a filter.
All right. So these are the regular old filters. Should we go straight to advanced filters?
Sure.
Look at that, y'all. More filters than ever. Cool if I go with last contact?
Yeah, I think that's a good one. So maybe you want to view your devices that have checked in the last week or last day, or the opposite, devices that haven't checked in quite some time.
Look at these two truant devices. Haven't checked in ages. Tisk, tisk.
And then from there, you can actually then save this view. So if you want to come back to this at a future point in time, you can save. It'll show you what filters are applied, and then you can name it and choose to either make this private with just yourself, or if you leave that unchecked, it's then shared with all other admins in your organization.
Thank you, Jamie. And thank you, Kelly and Stuart, for the oohs and ahs. We appreciate it. All right. So now y'all can see this.
Yeah, so in this menu here on the left, you can see all your saved views, so things that you or the rest of your organization has created. So I had created a different view here. So if we select Isaac's default view, then you can see columns that I've set up for my organization. This is, let's just say this is the view that I prefer to see when I log in and check out all my devices. So in this case, there are no filters. It's just columns. I can, of course, add a filter on top of this. I'm really interested in all those columns of data. Maybe my counterpart admin wants a different set of columns. So I come in, I use this one called Isaac's default, and it is also set as my default. So when I launch this page, it automatically is selected.
And then I can come in, look at Isaac's view, add a filter, and then save it for myself. And nobody has to know that I have this view.
And I think a fun area of this is the quick views. So if you don't mind, we can collapse the saved views section so we can see all those quick views. So these are views that we've created at JumpCloud to facilitate just a quick access of a set of filters and columns that we think a lot of customers are going to value. So something like agent updates required, you can click that and you can see all devices, desktop devices, of course, that are on an older version than the current agent. So you can go and look at these, and then maybe you want to take an action. So you could select all of these devices and run a command or set a policy on them.
And this one's my favorite. Add them to a device group. Straight from here.
Right, so you can add to already existing device group if you'd like, or you can create a new group from that selection.
Yeah, let's look at that. Ooh, look at this. Add to existing or create a new one. Also, I just want to quickly point out that like I created the last contact and Mac devices views, so I can edit those and delete those, but I cannot go and mess with Isaac's view. So I can make changes to it and save it as my own view, but I can't mess with his. What else do you want to highlight, Isaac?
I think we've shown all the new pieces off for the phase 2 here. But what I'll say is all of these changes that you're seeing are updates that we are currently working on applying to other places in the platform. So this list view with the new styling, all these features that you're seeing are places we're currently adding to the users list as well. So there'll be parity between those two item lists. So you'll be able to filter with a lot more filters on your users if you want to see who hasn't just any type of filter around a user will be something that you can do in the future and then save that as well, share it with your admins the same way that we're seeing it for the devices here. And then we're also working on mobile responsiveness. So that's not ready quite yet, but these type of screens will work a lot better on your other devices as well, like phones and tablets. So as you were to shrink in the size of the screen, it will show a different type of view. Right now, we're not there quite yet, but it will have more of a card approach rather than a full list. And that is really dedicated to our users who are on a smaller screen size, don't need as much data, but do need a responsive view.
Yes, I love all the love it's and the nices, and Rob is hissing in approval. I'll take it. Also, y'all, I don't know if you noticed when I did it earlier, but like I can load a view and then let's say I'm over it. I don't want to look at this anymore. Clear all, move on. So you're not stuck with any view. You always have the option to back out of it. All right, should we hit up the questions?
Yeah, I think one of Stuart's earlier ones was actually answered while you were going through, but just so we have it on screen for others who watch later, let's answer his question real quickly.
Yes. So basically, by default, when you create a view, it will be for all admins across your organization, but you can choose to make it private only to you, in which case it won't show up in the list. So if Isaac logs in to this exact same organization, he won't see Mac devices because I set this to private. So it is shared by default, but you can make it private.
Very nice. And Timothy, Timothy had...
Has there been any thought of being able to search, assign, deployed, currently logged on users from the devices rather than needing to search the user, then click to the assigned devices? So this has been a request that comes up a lot, and we really want to do it, but there is some complication in the backend. We could do it, but it would severely affect performance, and we do not want to leave you hanging on that page. So we are in the process of revamping all of that stuff in the backend so that like the users and devices like correlating information can be pulled up like super quickly. So that is in the works, and we do really want to like, we've heard this a lot during the device list feedback and the user list feedback is people want to see device info on the users list, user info on the device list. We can do it on a per device basis. As you all know, there is that users tab, and then the users have the devices tab. But introducing it as a column is a little bit away, but it is 100% on the radar. No feature request necessary. We hear about it every day.
Darn it. You know what I was going to say.
Well, you can submit it anyway, by all means.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Hang on. Will primary adapter IP be available in the search? Currently, only remote IP is present, limiting ability to search for local LAN devices. I will have to check on that and tell you what the searchable fields are. So hang on. As a search item. Okay, I'm gonna have to get back to you guys on that one. I will make note of that question. Okay,
And,
primary adapter ID.
and Rob is saying
IP, sorry.
group by Rob is saying group by subnet would be nice. Adding on top of that.
Well, group by is something that is super cool and we definitely want to do. Right now, what we're doing with reports that is being revamped by Rob McGrath, who started all of this device list stuff with Isaac. He is going to be working on some brand new reports which will have a group by option. In terms of grouping by in the device list, I think the best we can do is sort by so that they appear to be in groups. But if you want like a legitimate group by, a feature request would be amazing.
And then back to what you were just talking about feature requests. Jamie had a quick comment there.
Great to see the ability to filter by make and model. Yes, I think we chatted about this, Jamie, did we not? Or maybe I'm just getting that request from multiple people. But yes, we would like to continue to add filterable options and also allow you to search by those things. So feature request, as you have already done, would be great, and we can keep adding to this. Oh, there's a new submit that feature request button. What? Okay, Becky, with the innovation. Okay.
I had forgotten that I had that ability, so I had to go load it up.
Amazing. I think maybe when Becky's covering the community updates and the product updates, I will quickly dig in and check about the primary adapter IP.
And I'll also mention
All
for
right.
filters, we knew that like coming into this, adding 5, 10, 15 more filters, that we're kind of opening up a waterfall of the ability to now add more filters. So people are going to request, I want to filter by XYZ. And so please do let us know, because once we have that data, we can pretty easily add that in to the UI, because it's built in a way that should scale up to many, many more filters through that new menu within the bigger filters modal.
Yep, we made sure that, I mean, Isaac made sure that that was like super scalable so we can keep adding to it. Trust me, y'all, we want to give you all the filters, all of them. Filter by vibes, good, bad, medium. All right, to add, primary adapter ID is currently available in columns in the old view, but can't search using it. I will look into that. That being said, if we haven't implemented it as searchable, it's a technical limitation that may take us a little bit longer to implement, but we can make it happen. All right, all the filters. Filter by people I don't like to work with. You can, in fact, create a group, a user group, Rob, of like people that you don't enjoy working with, and have that available. But then to be able to filter by user group, that will need a feature request for. So we're here to help. We're really just here to make things work for you.
I would recommend making that one private,
Yep.
visible just to me. Strongly
Yep.
recommend.
Yep. And then rename that user group to be like something, can neither confirm nor deny. All right. We still have the old device list view. Okay. Here's the question that we were bracing ourselves for. So here's what happened, folks. We were really excited. We were in EA forever, and a bunch of you were on that EA with us, and we really appreciate you taking the time to do it. We did everything we could. Everything looked hunky dory, fantastic in EA. But you know how Murphy's laws work. It's like just when you think you've got everything together and you hit that go GA button, the server gods are like, not today, Urvashi. We're not going to let you have your first GA be this easy. You must experience a rollback. So, for my character development, the gods had written that we must roll back. So we have found some performance issues on a serious note. A lot of people in the community brought it up, and we appreciate you for that. We saw all of those reports. We roll back. The team is investigating. We believe that we have fixed it, but we are going to do some super thorough, like extracalifragilistic testing before we get it back out to you. If you were already in the EA, you should have access still. But if you did not, then just give us a little bit, like hang in there. We will turn it back on. Promise. Bonus point for not deploying on a Friday. Never, never, Kelly.
And Ross just said, blame the firewall. So, I mean, not a bad idea. Oh, here we go. Tad's going to fall on the sword. So
we knew. Thank you, Tad, for taking responsibility. I said Todd because I've been watching BoJack Horseman again. I don't even know why. That show makes me kind of sad, but I said Todd because I keep hearing that name. Pointed side-eye towards Palo Alto. Well, for legal reasons, I cannot contribute to this conversation anymore. But that's why it went away, and it will come back, 1,000%. I know, Ricardo, it was confusing for everybody. I did post an update in the community and like updated the post, but we didn't send out like a blast to everybody. We get that it's frustrating. Trust me, if anyone's frustrated, it's us having, been so like geared up and ready to go, and then finding, how it is. Things go to GA and suddenly everybody and their mom has it. So things crop up that you couldn't have foreseen. Thanks, Ricardo. We're here to make things better, not worse. So that's what we're gonna try to do.
And thank you all for being kind about it and patient. And the team is really working hard, and they'll have things back in order soon. And thank you for your feedback on making sure that we get everything incorporated and get all your feature requests in as soon as possible and everything. Keep those coming as far as feedback on what you want to see in the device list and everything, because we really appreciate your feedback during early access and things like that.
And we're like Isaac said, we are working on bringing this to every list, and work on the user list to bring you this new view is already underway. So because we've worked out a lot of the kinks in the device list, and now we have learned from this rollback issue, we are hoping to be thorough and good with the user list coming soon.
And yeah, I love that. And when it is back to GA, then we will have them back on to provide us an update.
Yes, we will. It will be in the community. I'm posting in the administrator console channel if anyone wants to join that and like keep an eye on that or turn on your notifications. You want to see cupcakes? Oh my God, yes.
Tasty.
Yes, submit
tasty
a
update.
feature request.
I like that idea.
Yes. Ooh, I kind of want to introduce like all kinds of emojis now. Bring it back. Bring it back. Okay, Isaac. I know you have to be like somewhere else / doing other things, so I'm okay to like hang out and answer any other follow-up questions. But I think demo-wise, we're good.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, Isaac, and we hope you'll be back soon.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope I'm back to share user lists sooner than later. Thanks for having me, and everyone, please keep giving us your feedback on the list once we get in, because we can always continue improving what you all are using. So thanks.
And y'all, the amount of work that Isaac did on this, every single click, every single drop down, every single permutation combination of filters, of columns, of click, unchecked, multi-select, partial select. He has made screens for everything. So shout out Isaac.
Thank you, thank you. There's also a great team with me that I get to bounce ideas back and forth with. So credit to the other designers as well.
We have a great design team. We really do. So definitely.
Our next meeting is going to be about adding cupcake emojis to the device list. So stay tuned. I'll add that to your calendar, Isaac.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thanks, Isaac.
IKEA in Thailand sells a bumblebee vanilla cupcake, and it's got a bumblebee on top with black and yellow sprinkles and white icing.
Aw.
Oh, so cute.
Want sprint name. I love
I'm going to pitch that to the team. Yes.
I'm resisting introducing an earworm, and I think you all know which one it is. It's about baby bumblebee.
I haven't heard it's so hard. So I'm gonna do it. This is about the safe space, Becky.
Scooping out my baby bumblebee. Won't my mama be so proud of me? If you, it's an old children's song. I know some of the olds in here, the semi-olds, not olds, semi-olds, will know what I'm talking about. It was I don't know, we used to sing it on school bus trips for field trips and stuff. And it's like an earworm. Vintage, thank you. Antiques, vintage.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right, well, we're going to circle back to community news. Baby grizzly bear. Now that I haven't had. No, Dad, I'm not going to sing it. I sing too much as it is. I'm always humming or singing something, and it just takes a little teeny tiny phrase to get me to sing. As you saw earlier with the Guess Who's Back. As we did earlier. All right. So as a reminder, Jump Cloud Customer Awards, affectionately known as the Jumpies, are also back. It's been, Kelly says, I sing too much as is. That is not a thing. Well, according to my children, it is. But to me, no. I constantly sing and I love it. Any tiny phrase that reminds me of a song, I will start singing that song. And it keeps me entertained. No one else is going to entertain me, so I might as well entertain myself. Anyway, Jump Cloud Customer Awards.
Strong, independent woman, Becky.
I am. That's right. That's right. No one else is going to do it for me, so I do it myself. Putting in chat. That is the link to the Google form for customer awards. Now, we already had partner awards, so sorry, y'all. Those were separate. This is for direct customers, but please go enter the awards. We've already had some folks enter them. Please go do those. Best use case, scaling for success, and make work happen champion. This is for an individual. So nominate yourself or go ask your team to nominate you. For people that work behind the scenes that don't always get recognition. I bet that's a lot of you. That's mean, Tad. That is very mean to try and rickroll us in the middle of the show.
Oh, no.
I'm going to circle back to the Jump Cloud Awards. Encourage your team to go enter your team for an award. Get recognition for what you're doing with Jump Cloud. Entries are open until December 20th. We will announce the winners during Jump Cloud Land on January 28th. I am also going to put that link for registration for our virtual conference. It is free to register. It's a half-day conference. lots of great stuff planned for that. We're going to have multiple tracks of learning. It's going to be a lot of fun. Would love to have you. Invite your friends, invite your colleagues and your boss and all of that. Really looking forward to that. I don't know, Kelly, I know you said missed out on a partner award. I wasn't involved in those, and I don't know if they were open entry or awarded for certain things. I would have to go back to Antoine and team and ask about that. So apologies retroactively for that. All right, we've got some posts in the community. We have one person asking about how to provision a spare or floating laptop as needed and whether or not they should do a self-provisioning or other way of setting that up, because it gets kind of tricky about best practice for deploying that. We are doing something new. It's an experiment with posting latest headlines, just doing some news once a week. This week it was about latest headlines in security, and that's in the security and network board. So our content team is helping out with that, and we're seeing how that goes. So let us know what you think about that. Another person wants to know about export all users available in Jump Cloud and trying to automate that. And that's in the product discussions. And then Joffrey has put a script in the script repo about finding suspended users by how many days they've been suspended. So super cool. And as always, another thing we have going on. Oh, wait, I'm going to change the button just for fun. Make Work Happen podcast. We've got a new episode coming out next week, I believe. It's the second of a two-parter. And I'm really enjoying that. So, if you're not sick of my voice yet, go check that out as well. More of me. Aren't you so excited? Again, remember, I'm trying to start a cult and take over the world. So just, one more stop on the way to doing that. Product announcements. Kelly, this is for partners. We have a new partner education troubleshooting learning path and certification. And no, it's not just for Kelly. It's for all y'all who are partners. So it's a learning path titled Foundations of Troubleshooting Jump Cloud for Your Clients. So this is new. It's free. We have a post on the community about it. But you do need to reach out to your account manager to be able to get access to that. But very excited to have some more things available for our partners, as well as all the things we have for our direct customers. So super excited about that. Now, I've been popping back and forth between the document, Urvashi. So have I missed anything more that we need to circle back for your product stuff?
I just posted one comment in there about the primary adapter IP. So I was checking to see if we had something that we could just plug in and do, just make it available for everybody, but we don't at the moment. So we'd have to do a little bit more back end connecting the cables kind of situation. So a feature request would be ideal.
Okay. Hang on. I'll put it back up. Feature request. There we go. It's back.
I want to do a word cloud of all the ITR episodes and just see how many times we've said feature request and do a graph of per episode.
Y'all are actively trying to get me with songs, because Ross has said we won't stop believing. We won't give you up. You are trying.
Don't Stop Believing is my anthem. Like if I'm having a bad day, I just need to listen to like the first three notes of that song and I am like good. I cannot tell you how many times I have like been scream singing that song in my car.
Oh, it's a go-to when my friends and I do karaoke. I have a friend that last year, I think, got a karaoke machine for like Christmas, and we go over for game night every once in a while. And yes, we play card games and board games, but it has kind of devolved into singing karaoke. And there's an app that goes along with it, so it's a lot of fun sailing away.
I I don't have the courage to actually sing at karaoke, so I just rap for Delicious
Well,
every time.
fortunately, this is in someone's home, so it's not like going to an open mic and singing karaoke. So my favorite is like the Korean type karaoke places where you have like a room and you go in. So this is like more like that because you're at someone's home. He has an actual karaoke machine with an app attached to it, so it plays the songs and has connected to his TV and has lyrics up on the TV. It's like perfect.
The one I really wanted to get was that Dance Dance Revolution mat that can like connect to your TV. I've always wanted to get it. I just never got around to buying it. I really want to get that one. I love Dance Dance Revolution. Live for it. If I had to have anything like that in my house, it would be the Dance Dance
I think
Revolution
I would die.
one.
I would die just from like, you know, uh, I'd probably have a stroke from, you know, from the, yeah,
But imagine the cardio
yeah.
if it's tracking it.
Oh, Kelly's saying Portland, second Tuesday of the month, a group that goes to a place with private suites. See, there's a place in San Francisco that I used to go to, and they had one in San Diego too. I haven't found one here. I guess there was one pre-pandemic, but nothing post-pandemic. But those are my favorite. The private suites are so much fun. They really are, because you don't have to wait as long for the open mic stuff, and slightly less embarrassing because you're with friends. So, you can do Gangster's Paradise with slightly less fear of judgment. See, Kelly's got the setup. She's got a karaoke machine in the basement. That's what you need. I have another friend that just has has mics and uses a computer and on the TV and pulls them up on YouTube, because there's
Oh
a
yeah, yeah.
ton of karaoke videos on YouTube, but the machine has like a little bit better setup because it's exclusively that. You don't get interrupted by
Mm.
anything.
Like ads. Could you imagine? Don't stop. Coming soon today is a new version of the MacBook Pro. Like, ah!
Yes, Kelly,
What?
you're only making a fool of yourself in front of people who already know it's true.
What I'm hearing from Kelly is that party at your house, that's the vibe I'm getting here.
It has been a while since I've been to Portland, like a few years. So
I can be there in 36 to 48 hours. Just let me know.
a little bit of planning involved.
Yes.
Just a little.
And like at immigration, they were like, your reason for visiting the US, Kelly's having a karaoke party in the basement. I'm here for that.
Oh boy.
Ross is on a roll. Time to just shake it off.
Not doing it. It's tempting, but very tempting. I'm looking here at there's so many different things in the news. I didn't get to pull all of it, but
Ooh, I can help.
so many things. Well, we'll start out with there's a lot going on with CISA. There were 11 updates since last week. Big ones were they made a notice about Apple security updates for multiple products. They added a bunch of known exploitive vulnerabilities to the catalog. If you really want to read about the USDA releasing a success story detailing the implementation of phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication, they have that.
You know what else is phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication? Jump Cloud Go. Always be plug-in. Continue.
There you go. They released insights from a red team assessment of a U.S. critical infrastructure sector organization. 7 industrial control systems advisories. So always keep an eye on their website. Okay, now in mildly related to things, in an I told you so sort of related news, Niantic has used Pokemon Go player data to build an AI navigation system. And, surprise to no one, because people have been saying, oh, when you take pictures of, all those challenges Pokemon Go has had in the game for a while, saying, take a picture of this and earn rewards. People would say, oh, they're forcing people to get out and do things physically, like walk for rewards and take pictures for rewards, because they were mapping stuff. Well, it's a surprise to no one. They're building a large geospatial model. And last week they announced plans to create an AI model for navigating the physical world using scans collected from players of Pokemon Go and users of its Scaniverse app. So, yeah, in a move that surprises no one.
If the product is free, you are the product.
Yeah, not entirely free. I mean, yes, the app is free, but, there was a lot of stuff you had to buy to make any movement. But during the pandemic, they gave a lot more freedom to people not having to do as much gathering in the real world. But they've been backing off on that and forcing people to do more walking and doing more real world stuff. And there've been a lot of discussions around them doing that in order to build these sorts of things. So we all knew that was coming. The only interesting debate has been for folks who have mobility issues and disabilities. Their complaints have been that it's actually made it harder for them to play the game. So them nerfing those capabilities has had consequences for people who were actually able to play it more, and now they can't again. And Kelly says it can be free to play, you just go slower, which is very true. You can. It just takes a lot longer to earn rewards, which is fine, Very, very fine. Several news outlets are reporting about the feds wanting to break up Google's search monopoly, and they are recommending that Google needs to, so the DOJ is asking the federal court to order Google to sell Chrome, and also wants to force them to sell Android mobile OS. This has been a long antitrust federal case. They won apparently earlier this year, but it's still, they're still going through like what the consequences of that will be. So,
I mean, are they going to sell it or divest it? Like, who's gonna buy Who has that kind of money? I mean, I guess there are people that have that kind of money. Silly
I
me.
I mean, think
Silly
about it.
Beth.
If they have that kinda like, that audience built in, because Chrome has about 60% of the market share, by several estimates. Next nearest competitor, Safari, serves around 20% of the market, and, there's quite a few devices worldwide who run on Android OS. So, the DOJ is proposing that Google would have to sell Chrome and be prohibited from re-entering the browser market for 5 years. So, and in addition, it would also prohibit them from requiring third parties to use Google Search as the default search engine on their service or platform. So, oh, and Google described the proposal as a radical interventionist agenda that would harm Americans and America's global technology leadership.
Oh my god. Bit of an overreaction.
That
Calm
was
down.
just a part of the quote of their
Oh my god. That's so extra. Like, chill out, bro. Time for Netscape to come back.
Yeah, but Ross makes a good point. Let's not forget Chromium, which is powering Edge, Opera, and others. So that could, you know,
I mean, I think behind the scenes stuff doesn't get as much flack. I think it's all of the ad targeting that's the main issue. So,
well, and it's I think it's more about stifling competition. Like, it's not the fact, like, any big company that stifles competition is an issue. Like, as long as there's free and open competition, everything's fine. But when you start finding ways to not let others enter the market, that's when you're able to, it's like when a very big online shopping platform, not naming any names,
unnamed, of course. Yes.
will let smaller businesses put their products on there, and then that platform starts selling those products directly and hiding those small businesses and directly competing with them. I've seen those complaints a lot. So it's fine when you have offered those same products, but when you start directly competing with those folks, or a very big named brick and mortar store who comes into smaller towns and builds near small businesses and lowers their prices to run those stores out of business, and then raises their prices back up once the competition is gone. Again, it's the
capitalism.
It's anytime there are, and I'm not accusing any of these places in the news of doing that. I'm just saying that when there's a potential of anti-competition practices going on, that's when the DOJ steps in, good or bad.
It's funny that there's like an equivalent version of the unnamed e-commerce platform we're talking about that's like built in India and basically does the same thing. And they also did the same thing with having their own, like, subsidiaries slash child companies competing in the market. And they got called out by the Indian Supreme Court also. It's like,
wow.
It's a playbook now.
Oh, and you want to hear something else fun? Do you remember how places like the New York Times were selling one of the big uh, chat platforms because they were training their data on like the New York Times database and stuff? They accidentally erased evidence in the one of the training data lawsuits.
Accidental. Whoopsie daisy.
Now, the New York Times is just making a note that it's OpenAI, and they admitted the error and tried to recover the data. So the New York Times isn't accusing them of doing it maliciously, but it does greatly affect discoverability. So now they can't trace what articles were used and things like that. So it really does hamper their ability. But that is a big, big mistake. Huge. Okay, Kelly. You know I'm quoting something, so I'm waiting for you to tell me what that was. Maybe I should do that. Big mistake. Huge. Okay. Yeah, I see what you did there. Thank you. But yeah, that's not great. Obviously. She got it right away. So
Well, our twin
what's
flames.
really weird though is usually in something like this, you make a copy of the data and it's frozen. Like you make a copy like in lawsuits like this, because I've been like kind of a part of these, and I've watched it happen. Like you have to freeze stuff, make a copy of it and protect it and put it to the side so it's an exact copy of the way things were. And then you're not supposed to touch it.
Supposed to, not supposed to, schmupposed to, supposed to, tomato,
So what were they
potato,
doing touching
potato.
it? What were they doing touching it?
These are all guidelines for regular people, Becky.
They're more like guidelines
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, not rules, suggestions,
It's
strong
not,
hints.
yeah, stick to the code. They're more like guidelines anyway.
Ay, ay, ay.
It's because they're living on a prayer, but they only got halfway there.
Y'all are on a roll. I mean, this is some top tier,
Say, whoa,
planting.
you're halfway
Yep.
there. John Bond.
Take my hand and we'll make it a swim.
So you got Urvashi to do it. You got Urvashi to do it. Oh, by the way, next Wednesday on the community, because I'm looking where like The Verge was saying something about Black Friday. Next Wednesday, we're going to post a grateful, like I'm grateful for post on the community. And since it's U.S. Thanksgiving, so we kind of like to do a here's what I'm grateful for post. So I will be doing that, and I would love y'all to participate. Even though it's not Thanksgiving in Canada, Ross, I would like folks like you all to participate too, please. I'm waiting for him to respond in the comments there. But yeah,
Hashtag
please.
inclusion. Canada's included.
And in the
Hashtag.
UK and everybody else, I would love to just have like a really quick little, let's take a moment of stopping for gratitude and think about what we're grateful for, because I know I could really use some of that right now. And then a little bit between Thanksgiving and then the shopping holidays, I we'll be doing our annual like holiday shopping guide list. So whatever you're enjoying or putting on your holiday wish list, we'll do that as well. Cause that's always fun to see what have people been enjoying in the past year, or what are you thinking about buying, putting on your wish list that you either want to buy for yourself or buying for the tech geeks in your life. So yeah, Kelly always has she says, ooh, gift picks. She always has great recommendations. So
Ooh, I
looking forward to
suddenly
that.
remember the Reddit Secret Santa. I used to do that pretty regularly, and I completely forgot about it. I should get back into it. Got some
Yeah,
cool stuff in
absolutely.
there.
Oh, Urvashi, you had one more news item. Please go ahead and read that one.
I thought this was hilarious. Okay, this is from Ars Technica. The headline reads: Hacker plants false memories in ChatGPT to steal user data in perpetuity. So, when security researcher Johann, German last name that I can't pronounce, recently reported a vulnerability in ChatGPT that allowed attackers to store false information and malicious instructions in a user's long-term memory settings, OpenAI summarily closed the inquiry, labeling the flaw a safety issue, not technically speaking a security concern. So, German guy whose name I can't pronounce did what all good researchers do. He created a proof of concept exploit that used the vulnerability to exfiltrate all user input in perpetuity. OpenAI engineers took notice and issued a partial fix earlier this month. The vulnerability abused the long-term conversation memory, a feature that OpenAI began testing in February and made broadly available in September. So the memory stores information from previous conversations and uses it as context in all future conversations. That way, the LLM can be aware of details such as the user's age, gender, philosophical beliefs, and pretty much everything else. So those details don't have to be inputted in every conversation. So this dude goes in and he did an indirect prompt injection to then pull out all of this info. So it was bound to happen, is all I have to say. People were pouring their hearts and souls and credit card information into ChatGPT. I mean, even if you've so much as gone in and asked it to redo your resume, it now has every job you've ever had. It could have, I can't even. The researcher demonstrated how he could trick ChatGPT into believing a targeted user was 102 years old, lived in the Matrix, and insisted Earth was flat, and the LLM would incorporate that information to steer all future conversations. These false memories could be planted by storing files in Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, uploading images, or browsing a site like Bing, all of which could be created by a malicious attacker. You got to see the article? I have a link for you. It's wild.
Oh my goodness.
I was also reading another article that was basically talking about how large language models have reached like the highest peak they'll ever reach, because if it has to train on more content, it's only going to end up training on its own, the content that it created, and then it'll just end up in this vicious cycle of rereading and just spitting out the same stuff recycled.
I also just read something where an expert that was giving testimony in a trial about I think it was the dangers of something to do, I think deepfakes, used AI in his testimony, and there were some hallucinations in that. So he used it to create his some of his testimony, and then a case he referenced in his testimony was fake. No irony in that at all.
Are we living in a Black Mirror episode, or are we living in a South Park episode?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Fun.
So when you said it was bound to happen, and I put it was bound to happen, and one night it did, that is a Garth Brooks song. So every time I hear someone say it was bound to happen, I have to, it was bound to happen, and one night it did. Papa came home and it was just us kids. So you'll have to look that one up. It's not pretty though. It's about a guy who kills his wife because she was cheating
Oh,
by taking
speaking
his
of crime,
big rig and running it into a motel.
and someone wrote a song about this as opposed to like a
Country
horror
country country
story.
music. Country music. It just
Speaking of crime, though, has anyone watched The Girl in the Picture? It's on Netflix. It is the most plot twists per minute I've seen in my life. It is wild. Y'all have to watch it. I'm sharing the IMDb link. Trigger warning, it is about heavy subjects and involves lots of crime. But it's bananas. Bananas.
yep, still not doing
Everybody
it.
has to,
Ross is still trying, but it didn't work. All right,
y'all have to.
so next week is the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, if you are a shopper, and we will not have the IT hour because US holiday. We're not working that day. So just giving you a fair warning that we will see you back on December 6th. And that will be, I think we're talking about mobility, and I believe that will be, Sergi will be back on. So looking forward to that. But we are a couple minutes over, and I know people are going to be dropping off. Thank you, Urvashi. Good to have you back again.
Thank you for
Enjoyed
having
having
me,
you.
and stay tuned for us to be back GA soon with the device list.
I love that Kelly says, if that Garth Brooks song surprised you, I have some news about almost every other country song I ever recorded. Lots of alcoholism, and there's some domestic violence. Thunder Rolls is another domestic violence one, but that one's better because she gets revenge. If you can say that. She defends herself. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna
there's a lot
stick
of.
to like instrumental electronic music that's just
No, Goodbye Earl is a fun one. You should listen to Goodbye Earl by the Chicks. Used to be called the
I'm
Dixie Chicks,
looking
but
up
now
the
they're just the
lyrics
Chicks.
now.
Goodbye Earl is funny.
Okay.
Marianne and Wanda were the best of friends all through their high school days. Both members of the 4-H club, both active in the FFA. I don't know that song at all, Kelly. All right, we're over time. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you in December.
It just says like 2 weeks after she got married, Wanda started getting abused. Like,
She wore dark glasses and long sleeve blouses and makeup to cover the bruise. All right. No, watch the video because it's funny. Trust me. Bye all.
okay.
Have a great Thanksgiving if you're in the US, and enjoy the break, and we will see you all. Enjoy that view of Urvashi's face as we fade out, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.